I'm Rob Schovenlin. I'm the acting city archivist of Baltimore, and I am East Baltimore. My ancestors were all immigrants, most directly to Baltimore. On my father's side, my paternal ancestors um, basically, the one emigrated from England, London, England, and the other one emigrated from Bohemia. Today we say Czechoslovakia. And they settled in the Fells Point area. My great grandfather was he had a number of different jobs. He was a saloon keeper, store clerk, and my great grandmother, Sophie Swoboda was her name, actually operated an oyster house from her own home. On my other side, my father grew up in Canton, Bill Schovenlin. He excelled in sports, and he would spend many, many days, many afternoons in Patterson Park playing sandlot ball. My mother grew up in Fells Point, went to PS School number 6. I believe that's where Lemco House is today. Later on worked in the defense industry during World War II. But yeah, my roots are strong in East Baltimore. When I would go and visit my grandmother's neighborhood, it wasn't that many years after World War II, really. There were a number of individuals, in that Polish neighborhood, the Bank Street, just west of Patterson Park, that inhabited that neighborhood. They're new immigrants that had left Poland. Many had been forced laborers during the war and had been through a lot of hardship. Eastern Europeans, some Russians, some Polish. Now, the location of immigrants coming in changed to Locust Point at a certain time, but still, some of the immigrants would literally come to Fells Point to get rental homes. And Fells Point was known for a place where people could rent at a reasonable monthly rental fee. So Fells Point really has always been transitioning with different groups. And, as it is today, one of the newer immigrant groups, of course, are the Hispanic Latino populations. And so it's the same sort of transformation that's taking place, and that's good. That's good. The city archives, there are certain records that we have a large amount of. We have a large amount relating to the city planning department and housing, Department of Housing as well. And it's very interesting when people say redevelopment. We have lots of city plans for the redevelopment of different neighborhoods. And they squarely seem to be mostly on the east side. Curiously, though, not necessarily, they don't go as far east as Canton, but there was a lot of interest in the Old Town area. The city planners and the government wanted to revitalize that area. And they did. They built what was called Old Town Mall. In terms of what we have for West Baltimore, though, I should say there were, in comparison, very few redevelopment plans for West Baltimore. In fact, I'm hard to even mention a neighborhood in West Baltimore where I see that we have some plans. I mean, there's a lot of, I should say, investors and individuals who are placing money in certain properties and certain homes, but for all of East Baltimore to thrive, there seems to be a need for more private-public partnerships in order to renovate homes, build new buildings. But I'm hoping as we go forward, things continue on, and there is redevelopment throughout, but especially being sensitive not to price people out of the area.